morning, we're at Snetterton for the second time this year and for the final round of Time Attack UK. We've had quite a busy week with the car, just spanner checking, shaking everything down, and then had a really good dyno session with Paul West on Tuesday where we made some quite significant changes, found some ridiculous problems that we didn't know we had, and found some new horsepower which will make today quite an interesting final round for us. Not quite sure what our PB is here, I'll find that out in a couple of minutes, but hopefully we'll be on PB pace quite early, and the weather holds out for a good day.
Yeah, they are just heading out to the track now. Another comment's coming out. Actually, Logan Corrigan said, "Do you know what Martin Henry is?" That's why I've just stolen your bit of paper. Actually,
Martin Henry is in the white and orange Mark V Astra VXR. So he's come down from Scotland for
He's
today.
literally just coming underneath us now, actually, isn't he? Making his way onto the circuit.
So there we go. Exactly. He's at the back of that little queue there, just behind Ilya Krylov's wide body Clio. So Knockhill last time around would have been Martin Henry's local round. And indeed, we have quite a few Scottish drivers who make the trek down. I mean, Brands Hatch is, you know, the staff, the commentators, we could, at a push, fly to Knockhill. But of course, the drivers and the crews and the cars, they got to drive the full distance. And our Scottish drivers do this for every single round.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? The miles that they must cover. I've been to Knockhill. I had my first trip to Knockhill actually this year, and I was mightily impressed. But I'm mightily impressed with the Snetterton 200 circuit as well. As you said, it's a power track, isn't it?
Just in from session one, which is warm up here today at Snetterton. Only ran a couple of laps in that session. I've got some new brake pads which I fitted, which I needed to bed in properly, so I didn't want to overheat those. And I'd replaced an oil pipe from dry sump pump to bottom of the oil cooler radiator, which sits incredibly close to the screamer pipe. So I had a few concerns over that. I just wanted to run a couple of laps and see the proximity of that after some runs, and that's fine. Car felt absolutely mega. Came in with like a 123, which is okay for 2 or 3 laps, having not been here since the summer. We're on old tyres still. Engine is turned right down after the newfound power from Tuesday's dyno session. So yeah, everything feels really good. Didn't want to change anything on the car at all, so brought it in, checked the pipe, checked the brake pads, and can't wait to get out for Attack 1.
And straight into Time Attack we go, where our pro classes Attack 1 has been underway for about 5 minutes now, while those interviews and so on were rounding up. So, in this new for 2025 format, Attack 1 now scores drivers points based on how well and how fast they can lap compared to their peers in their class. So for those of you who are new to Time Attack, and wondering what on earth is going on. In contrast to the Racing Honda's championship, at no point will our time attack drivers be racing wheel to wheel. All they are here to do is to try to set as fast a lap as they possibly can, what we might call that one perfect lap compared to other drivers in their class. That is what decides the winners and the runners-up. Watching the Lucas Oil live stream, I'm pleased to see that Oddballs has joined us on the stream. The comments on the YouTube stream are one of the, I think, real highlights of the Lucas Oil live stream. So thank you everybody for getting stuck in. I think the conversation really brings it to life and lends a sense of community to all of the proceedings, not only here in person in the paddock, but also online. We've got our own little buzzing paddock in the YouTube comments, so I absolutely love that. Please do keep getting involved, ask questions, contribute any little nuggets of information that you might have. So the new format for this year, we had the warm-up a little bit earlier on, and then now we have Attack 1, which scores points for our drivers. Attack 2, which scores points for our drivers, and Attack... this happens every single time. Attack 1, Attack 2. It's not Attack 3, it's Super Attack, and that scores the most points for our drivers. And so what that means is throughout the day, there's quite a lot of points up for grabs. If you're fast in Attack 1 and Attack 2 and Super Attack, then you're going to add quite a few points to your championship standings. And conversely, if you are fastest only in the Super Attack, which is like the main one, it's the end of the day, it's the grand finale, that's great.
So just in from Attack 1, weather's still holding out, it's still nice and warm, sun's come out for a little while. Car felt absolutely brilliant, no issues whatsoever. We left the engine turned down following the dyno session, so we're still running low power. Car was really well balanced, got loads of turn in, even on the old tyres. The new mid-range that we found made the throttle, you can't really commit to full throttle that much anymore. You sort of feather it through corners and things, which is fine. Can definitely feel the mid-range helping to bring the power in a little bit earlier, so that was really good. It did accentuate some wheel spin problems, but they are manageable, and not running any kind of traction control or boost per gear or anything. It's all the power all the time, so that has to be done by the driver, which is good. I do enjoy that kind of integration with the car. It just makes it more enjoyable for me. Brakes were fantastic. New pads seem to have bedded in well this morning, so brakes were really strong, and we're now getting really close to limiter in top of sixth now on both the straights, so that proves that we have increased the power and the car is actually going faster. So we ended up with a 1:17.7, which is about 7/10 off my personal best here, which I think is pretty good, to be fair. It's not the best track conditions. I wasn't fully committed to the lap, so hopefully we can get down. I'd love to get down into the 1:16s, to be honest. With the power that I'm running, I'm not sure whether we'll turn it up today or not. The sky does look pretty grim, and the weather is turning quite cool, so we'll see how this goes for session 2 and then make some decisions towards the final. But all in all, really good stint, decent solid lap times and no issues to report, so really pleased with everything so far.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Snetterton circuit. The track has gone live again. I can see the Drift Pro Championship already taking place on the Snetterton 100 circuit, but right now it is time for Time Attack 2, and it is the Club Pro, Pro and Pro Extreme classes. A 20-minute session coming up right now. I hope you're nicely fed and watered. Everybody ready for the afternoon session. The wind has picked up, the clouds are drawing in, but we're still dry here at Snetterton. Once again, I'm delighted to be joined by Alexi up here in the commentary box for this next Time Attack session. Alexi.
Darren Spooner already with his headlights on. What that tells us is that he is on a flying lap. He's on a hot lap. Darren Spooner is still rocking the 106 GTI engine. Of course, lots of cars these days running K-swapped, especially these smaller type cars running K-swaps. And indeed, Andy York's Peugeot 205 is K-swapped. However, Darren Spooner, a true legend in the Peugeot tuning scene, keeping it original and choosing instead to push that little Peugeot engine as far as it can go. Well, although actually, we heard he was telling Susie how he's actually decided to run less power on the Peugeot 205, and as a result, he's having a much more enjoyable time of it. I can't remember what he downgraded, well, down-tuned to, but yeah, instead of chasing the big numbers, he thought he'd focus on drivability instead, and he reckons it's a much more enjoyable car as a result.
Okay, so we're back in from attack 2. Quite a frustrating session for me, that one. The car felt absolutely brilliant. Dancing around, lovely, like on the limit. Expecting to return some decent times, but just couldn't beat my previous best from the TAC 1. So I don't really understand that at all. I was finding half a second through the first corner, and then that was dwindling away, and then going negative. So yeah, just frustrating. No matter what I seemed to do, was up and then was down. So nothing felt wrong with the car. The car felt brilliant all day, but just couldn't seem to get that time strung together. So yeah, felt pretty deflated and pretty frustrated with that one. And we'll just try and remedy that and get something put together for the final that's worth a visit here today.
It's a bit of a shame the weather has turned, but I think it's been compensating. It will do it all day.
I mean, we knew it was coming, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. If anything, it's a very, very good demonstration of the aero working we see there on Brad John's car.
Those of you watching the Lucas Oil live stream will see in the bottom right corner of your screen a QR code that you can scan to vote for your Lucas Oil top driver. If you've enjoyed the stream, and lots of people here getting stuck into the comments, thank you very much for that. Susie and I had a bit of an issue earlier on where we couldn't seem to get onto the stream to read the comments, but we're back in now. So do definitely leave a comment, share your thoughts. Thank you for the feedback as well. But if you've enjoyed the stream, scan that QR code on the bottom right corner of your screen and go vote for your driver of the day, the Lucas Oil top driver.
Okay, so just got in from super attack. As you can probably see, it is raining. It was a wet session. Made some changes to the car, but not many. Track was wet, like full wet, but not loads of spray. Difficult conditions. We were like sitting as like a 131, I think. Second in class right up to the end where we just got pipped for third. Car felt good, but it developed a real high spike overboost in the last few laps. So I decided to retire the car because I wasn't quite sure what that was. I've never had that before. So we'll investigate that later on. But I think it's the third place in the final today. Car's in one piece, no damage. Great day's racing in mixed conditions back at Snetterton for this time of year. That's something that is really typically just terrible weather. So it's been really good and wraps the season up well. I'm not sure where we finished overall, but I guess we'll find out in due course and update you all later on that.